Hello, Mark. Scott from HeyUGuys. Lovely to see you again.
Hey guys.
How you doing?
Good.
We always love talking to you. You're always so much
saying
fun.
it.
Yeah. You could go on our roster of all these
guys.
famous people saying HeyUGuys. Congratulations on the film.
Thank you.
Love a good spy thriller. Love a good World War story. Particularly stories that we don't know too much about. It was one that I didn't know too much about. Was this a kind of a history lesson for you as well?
I knew about the story, but it's like all these sort of SOE stories are just incredible. And Ben McIntyre has made an amazing, brilliant career out of disinterring them, really. And I mean, most of them, like with Agent Zigzag, you wouldn't believe it was true if it weren't true. They're just so extraordinary, and this is the most audacious trick. It's a trick, and the whole idea of divisions within the Secret Service who were sort of practicing sleight of hand. Jasper Mescaline was the magician was involved in these, and it's just brilliant. And you can imagine why. So immediately after the war, the big stories, the coldest stories were told, and then afterwards, these other stories have sort of eventually leaked out. People who weren't supposed to speak started talking, and it's just extraordinary. But it's also very moving. I was just saying, it's a terribly moving story about a life that was sort of pointless and wasted, becoming immensely important post-mortem. Remarkable, right?
These kind of stories do always draw a fantastic cast. This one, plethora of talents. What's it like to go to work with Colin Firth every day? Because the two of you are awful, I can imagine. The two of you together playing this brother relationship must have been fun, as well as trying to make sure you tell the story.
Yes, it was a delight. I mean, he's every bit as delightful as you imagine. It was very interesting. We had an awful lot of sort of interesting wartime conversations. I know Colin was very keen to say, in the uncertain world that we're living, and we made the film what feels like 100 years ago before the pandemic, but he's very keen to say Nazis are not Germans. It's the Nazi ideology, it's not the Germans. There's enough division in the world without sort of restoking old wounds like this. And it's we had a lot of interesting chats about that, and about the whole notion of spying, and my character, what was a communist spy? They were absolutely right, and he was at the heart of this thing, but they didn't do anything about it, and he got away with it and invented table tennis at the same time. Sadly, there are no scenes of me playing table tennis, which may be a good thing.
Yeah, and I mean, this is a spy thriller, and you've just jumped into one of the modern spies in Ethan Hunt, aka Mission Impossible, which you've done. Which I know I spoke to Simon Peck a couple of weeks ago. He's very excited for people to see it, but obviously the pandemic and everything else. What was your experience like on that? Because it was a tough shoot for everybody, but the proof will be in the pudding, I'm sure.
It was amazing. That was this time last year. It was joyous. It was utterly terrifying because the scale of the film is so overwhelming. It's like a Bond film. It's just, I had a lot of friends at Inda Ravama I've known for years was in it. I didn't know she was in it until the day I got there, and we looked at each other across the room and she went. And we sort of clung to each other, terror. But then everyone was so nice. Tom is so incredibly approachable and fun. And it just took care of itself, We had Chris McQuarrie, the director, was a dream, and it was really good fun. And after a while, you sort of forget that it's the biggest franchise in the world and just have fun. And it was great. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, and people obviously ask you the Sherlock question, but it seems as if the Marvel universe is kind of your, not enemy, but it's becoming more and more difficult. But have you guys, would you be open to doing something if it was even 10, 20 years down the line, you guys would come back together and tell?
Hopefully sooner, but we always used to say right at the beginning that one of the joyous things about starting with Holmes and Watson, Sherlock and John, much younger than they're usually depicted, is that one day we can do them the age they usually are.
Exactly, yeah.
And we're getting close to it now.
Yeah, that's a good excuse now, isn't it?
Yes. No, we'd love to, but it's, Ben and Martin are both immensely busy. We've lost Una, obviously, which does make a huge difference. But, we're certainly game for it, but time will tell.
Time will tell. Lovely to talk to you as ever.
Thank you,
Pleasure.
guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching HeyUGuys!
HeyUGuys, huh?
HeyUGuys,
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yeah.
Nice.
HeyUGuys!